joke, no one brings it, and that's okay. Because we love them all the same. Front row, crack a beer, lend your ear. It's that time for the scrap again.
I get asked all the time, what is a vigilante? What does it mean to be a vigilante? And so to explain that, I'm just going to kind of explain where the vigilantes came from. When I started the group, I honestly thought there was going to be like 10 or 20 people who really like the scrap that would want to be a part of the behind the scenes, helping pick out the guests and make the questions. And I never dreamed that the vigilantes would grow into what it has grown into. Over 700 like-minded souls. If you're a vigilante, you are never alone. We have members from across the country. We have members from across the globe. And it's just amazing what it's become. If you're in there, then you get to be in the Discord. And the Discord is where we do all of our discussions and people go live and they talk and they ask questions. And we have a channel for bitching and moaning, for presenting classes. It's amazing the fellowship that is involved in being a vigilante. And it's not just that, there's so many other benefits. You get access to the vigilante only swag shop. You get the 15% discount on all merch from Firehouse Vigilance. You get the after parties. You get the vigilante get-togethers when we're all at the same place and we get together and we raise a glass and do a toast and have the vigilante creed. You get the vigilante coin when you hit your 1-year anniversary with your number. The fire-aways, the forums, the archives, all of the quarterly projects that are coming that you get to be a part of and get to be behind the scenes on. It's grown into something bigger than I ever imagined. And I want people to know about it. I want people to be a part of it. If you're not a vigilante, why not? I don't know how big it could be. I don't know. I mean, the vigilantes are where the work is at. They're the ones who are getting stuff done. And it's phenomenal to be a part of it. I wanted to get on here and explain where it started, how it came to be, and ask you, if you're not a vigilante, why not? Go to patreon.com/thevigilantes. That's where you sign up. It is $5 a month. I mean, you can't even get a cup of coffee for that anymore. $5 a month and you get to be a part of this unbelievable group. Go to patreon.com, sign up, become a vigilante, and I will see you on the Discord.
We bitch. We all bitch.
Intended or unintended, which is a huge part.
Creating our own toxicity.
Beat down, browbeat, whatever the reason. I'm not saying anybody's selling it that way.
I think the majority of them are spoiled, rotten little brats. That's never been with a strong enough officer for that officer to put their foot right square up their ass and say, "Not today, honey."
Holy more, Firehouse Vigilance is weekly scrap number 338. My guest tonight is Chad Gruver. He brings over 26 years of experience as a firefighter paramedic. He is married, 4 kids, currently holds the rank of captain, Texas task leader, and the director with Sons of the Flag for 10 years. Joined strategic fire training in 17. He loves preaching and demonstrating that aggressive, disciplined engine work transcends geography. Chad is known for his operational expertise, his passion for the trade, and his commitment to passing on knowledge. I got a lot I cannot wait to talk about tonight with my buddy Chad. Welcome, my brother, Chad Gruver, to the Scrap.
Hey, thank you for having me on, man. It's an honor to be here. Sorry, I'll try to keep my accent. I'll try to keep it not so Southern drawl, but I get made fun of.
Not so Texas?
Yeah.
Is there anything I missed in the intro? Anything you want to tack on there?
No, I think I sent you the one they wrote for me for strategic, and I didn't write it, but it's no, man, it's good. I'm just happy to be here, dude.
I'm excited for you to be here. The YouTube crowd is excited. There's up front, already going.
Hang on. Before, I want to say this is horse shit. Because you said we were going to be live in Hawaii. I can see that you're in Hawaii. It is 30 degrees where I am, and I'm getting ready for Iceageddon this weekend. This is crap.
I should have been clear on the scrap was going to be going live from Hawaii, and I should have been clear on exactly what that meant.
Yeah, this is.
But you can see the 50th state fools, man.
Yeah,
It's hard. It's hard to argue with the Pacific Ocean out there. So it's weird to do a scrap when the sun's up, though. I don't think I've done that, and so it is a weird feeling. But the time difference. So absolutely, we will do the sponsors. I will get the sponsors done. We will get to having a beautiful scrap. So here we go. Everything in the fire service gets tested. Training, instincts, equipment. That's why SnapTight designs and builds its fire hose to perform no matter the challenge. Durability, packability, kink resistance. Every single line is tested before it leaves the factory, so you know you can count on it. SnapTight, American made, firefighter trusted. SnapTightHose.com and learn more to find a distributor near you. Visit FirestationFurniture.com. They provide a complete line of quality furniture for your firehouse. Firefighter owned and operated, they understand the strain firefighters put on furniture and offer furniture that's built to last. Visit www.firestationfurniture.com for more information. And LIFT, Louisiana Instructors Fire Training Conference, March 2nd through the 5th this year. March 3rd is a Tuesday. March 3rd, I will be there. We're going to be live on location. You're going to have the guests Todd Edwards, Basil Ibrahim, live for that scrap that evening. It's going to be an awesome time. Live audience, as usual, on the internet. Live audience in person at LIFT. A live after party when it is over, and a live vigilante meetup, all crammed into that Tuesday night. So if you are in the area, make it to LIFT, get registered, and show up. It's going to be awesome. So there we go. Sponsors are done. It's time to scrap. Get into Groovy. Groovy. I met you, basically through training, through, Mark Von Oppen is where we met in person for the first time. But you're heavily involved in charity work and in training and in setting up trainings. So talk to me about how that all came about. Talk about Sons of the Flag.
Okay, so I'll be totally honest, and a lot of times I don't have a filter, and I just whatever comes in my head pops out. But I started in Addison in '99, and around 2010, 11, 12, I was getting ready to do burnout. I was done, didn't feel like I was doing enough, and a friend of mine asked me to go help with a burn camp, and that was Sons of the Flag. They do Camp Tonka Kai with Parkland burn kids, and basically a bunch of firemen go down, drive like 4 hours, and we have the biggest water balloon fight in Texas with all these burn survivors. And I had a blast. And through that, I met a guy named Ryan Birdman Parrott, and he started Sons of the Flag. And I think he set it up to help one guy, one veteran that was burned. And it just kind of grew. Next thing you know, I started hanging out with Ryan. Something I always try to do, I always try to be the dumbest guy in the room because I want to make, and I just fell in love with giving back and, the burn survivors and just what can I do to help them? And next thing you know, I'm just going along with Bird. It got me to look out of my box because before that, all I knew was, firefighting, circumstantial, geographical, and local. So all I knew was local. I just knew what Addison had. Just like, if you don't travel, you only know what more Oklahoma had. Right. Well, through this, next thing you know, with Bird, I got a box of cards in the mail and it said Texas Task Force Leader. And I went, oh, okay, I guess I got a promotion. Nobody told me. So I called him and then I started organizing things and got talking to him and I started saying, hey, it seems like Sons of the Flag's very, they're reactive. Let's be proactive. We got a lot of conferences. This is like 2013, 14 when the conferences were just starting to boom.
Yeah.
And Cody was doing Portland and Andrea were giving so much money. Was giving so much money to Sons of the Flag. And so I started going out and traveling out there and I started getting exposed to all these different people, all these giants in the fire service that are teaching everywhere. And, you know them now, you knew them then, but, they all, and it was so awesome. So I went to Bird and I said, hey, dude, instead of us taking care of people, why don't we use some money and start putting on conferences? And let's start getting firemen. Let's bring some of these people from Portland down to Texas. Let's bring them to Boston. Let's bring them all over, and let's keep firemen from getting burned. Because if we make them better firefighters, that's going to be better. I mean, then we don't have to take care of burns, which is our goal. And so that started, and actually, a fellow Oklahoman, he's in Oklahoma now. I think he started out in California. Brian Brush.
He's an Okie at heart. Okie at heart, no matter what.
Brian took me under his wing. I remember the first time I heard him talk at FDIC, and I'm like, oh crap, we're doing it wrong. And the first time I got exposed to really using 2.5. And, Brian did a charity event for us on 9/11, and he goes, hey, Gruver, come here. If you'll help me teach, I can add 10 extra students, and I'll donate that to Sons of the Flag. Well, I'm going to say yes. I have in my life, I have learned that nothing good happens from saying no. I mean, whether I didn't feel like I belonged there, I didn't belong there at the time, but Brian just he pushed me forward and said, hey, dude, you got this,
Right.
And so I helped him for 3 days. And then that started, Brian kind of meeting Sean Duncan, Brumley, all those guys. And then the next thing you know, I'm helping out with Brian and going to work, and I was helping him at a work conference, and the work conference led me to meeting Shoop. And then the next thing you know, I'm with strategic fire training with Shoop, and that guy's got more years in fire service than, anybody.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And, but Sons of the Flag really taught me that, from Bird and getting to meet all the people, and it taught me how to prepare. And you don't want to go to an ex-Navy SEAL and say, yeah, that one slipped my mind. Yeah, that's not good. And just, there is a lot of it's all in the details. You have to be detail oriented, very focused. I mean, you talk about it in your class. I sat through it twice in the last month because you came to my department. Yeah. I went and saw you at Chief Patterson's department in Whitesboro. But it's all about prep work. And that's all really, the way I look at it, that's all engine work is. Man, you got to do the prep work for when game day comes. Or I'm Texas, so it's all football. Doesn't do any good if you do it. But man, I got exposed. I did things I never thought I'd do with Sons of the Flag. I mean, I never thought I'd jump out of a plane with Bobby Halton and Mike Dugan, and I did. And by the way, I hate heights, and I had never been more scared in my life. And I'll throw out a callback. Thank you, Rick George, because his tactical resiliency, he was talking me through the whole thing because I thought I was going to die. But yeah, but I got to meet people. That's when I started going to FDIC every year with Sons of the Flag. And man, it was just a grassroots thing. And man, it has grown so big that now Bird and I are still there. I think I have what they call like covert operations. I'm allowed to talk about it anytime because I was there so long. But, I went and said, hey, I can still preach your message while I'm traveling the country teaching with the Teaching Engine Company. And yeah, so Sons of the Flag's really what got me outside of my comfort zone. First time I ever had to speak in front of anybody. And it was at Portland. We launched the Rose Clan. We launched a new program for everybody to donate to. And it was so big in Portland that it crashed the website. So the keynote speaker that morning was a Medal of Honor recipient, Leroy Petrie, and he doesn't suck. And then Birdman, who is now a professional motivational speaker, and he can get you to run through brick walls. And the website crashed, and he goes, "Hey, Gruver, get up there and talk." And I'm like, "Huh? What? No, and that was it. And I got up there and just said, "Hey guys, thank you." But I'm like, man, how do you follow a Medal of Honor recipient?
Right.
SEAL. I was set up to fail. And I think I made a bad joke and and talked about ego and thank you for dropping your ego in Portland, because that's when you learn. When you're not afraid to fail, that's when learning occurs. And
So let's talk about Sons of the Flag. And I know that you've now stepped out of operations on it, but if someone wants to put on a conference, is that a resource that they can reach out to? How does it work exactly? Like the nitty gritty.
So when I did that, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderation is for, there's a bad word there. You go watch I think it's Lone Survivor. That's where the anything worth doing is worth overdoing. Moderations for sissies. I don't think that's the word they use. But so back then, what I'd do is anytime I tried to do something, I'd try to make 3 times what it cost me to do. So I remember once I did a raffle for Andy Allison, Louisville fireman, had been burnt, got electrocuted, and I gave away 50 guns in 50 days. And
wow.
it was $100 a ticket, but I wasn't really giving away guns. We kind of twerked it to where I was giving away gift cards from Bass Pro Shop for the value. So you could go buy fishing equipment, and I picked out the guns, and they just gave me the value of that gun on a gift card. Well, anytime you buy 50, you do that, and you say you're giving away 50 guns, that draws attention. So, I mean, but that, I think we were able to give him like 30 grand or something. We were able to help him significantly. And the conferences, man, the conferences were so big, man, everybody was calling saying, yeah, can we do a conference? And then you get into, hey, so, and Cody and Andrea have done it and taken it and gone incredible with it. And I think it's now in Aurora, Illinois. I've been up there, helped set it up, run it. I've helped, anything they needed me to do, because they've got that on cruise control. And I was just there, whatever y'all need me to do. And then I've had the honor to teach there with Shoot and Strategic. So, and then, we had the Chesapeake conference where we did one out in Chesapeake Bay. Brian Brush, he had this great idea. Let's do the Red River rivalry. And that was with y'all's fools, the Mid-America guys. And, I'd get this dumb idea. And at first I thought, hey, yeah, these guys really backed me on this, but I don't think they knew I could do it. And I was like, with talking with, with Brad, Tobin, and those guys from Oklahoma City that were in the Fools, and Josh Piercy, the idea for Red River was, hey, let's bring the Hot Fools, which was a very big, which I'm a member of down here in Texas. And
right. Heart of Texas.
Fools, huh?
Yeah, the Heart of Texas Fools. Go ahead.
Yeah. And bring those two together, and we'll base it all around Texas OU weekend. And, we got donations, got sponsorships. I think Sons of the Flag raffled off tickets to the Texas OU game that weekend. We did the training on Thursday and Friday, and that grew from one day, kind of like the Mid-America Fools spring training they do. That grew from a one-day thing to, hey, now we're bringing in lecturers. We're bringing in Arthur Ashley and people like Shoop, and then we're doing hands-on and one day, classroom one day, and then party that night and go to the OU game, Texas OU game the next day. And then so we had the idea of, hey, whatever team wins, that's the team that comes up with the thing. And when Brian gave me this idea, I thought he was going to do it. And then the next thing he knows, no, man, you got it. And
Brian Crush is the absolute best at, hey, here's this idea, go. He is the empowerer.
Apparently that's called getting brushed. And sorry, Brian, if you're listening, but thank you, because, man, that guy just built me up every time. He's like, dude, you got this. And even today, I'll call him, and if I ever call him, he's like, yeah, man, you got this. And I'm like, so I've been blessed to have a lot of good people behind me, just saying, yeah, you can do this. And half the time they're probably going, this kid's going to fail like you wouldn't believe. And I think I'm too dumb to fail. And
I love it. But there is something I want to pick at your brain, because you have more experience probably than anybody being too dumb to fail. And I mean that because you put on so many events. So I love this question. It's the first question coming at you from the audience, coming from Rick Bergen, 9599. And he's coming at you on YouTube and wants to know, what would it take to bring a conference like that up to Canada? Now, and you can answer this 2 ways. You can answer it specifically like you were going to do it, or you can give advice for how to make it happen. So go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, find a place that will donate the training center to you, because you have to have a place to have it. Do you want to do hands-on lectures? Do you want to do hands-on, or do you want to do lectures? So there's several ways you can do it. You take it, You try to get as many sponsorships as you can. And a lot of times, if you'll tell people, hey, like with Sons of the Flag, the money you raised stayed in that area. So like Portland, the money they raised in Portland, that stayed in Portland. I think they used it to build like a Ronald McDonald House for somebody out there, for families of burn survivors. And so what you can do is, hey, we're raising money or something like that. And you say, we're going to train your firemen. We're going to bring in national, I always used to say, we're going to bring in the instructors from FDIC, world-class instructors. We're going to bring them in, and they're going to make your hometown firemen better. So when you get that, most companies do want to help make their fire departments better. If you get a good fire department that's backing it, and then from there, you just figure out what you want to do. Do you want to do truck work? Do you want to do engine work? Do you want to do both? I always suggest start small, like I just did with the Oklahoma thing, where we just did a 1-day thing, and then it grew to a 2-day, then a 3-day. I mean, and Portland's grown, the firemanship's grown huge, and start small and don't get in over your head. And even though you'll get in over your head really quick. And so don't be afraid to ask for help. I haven't put on a conference in a while, but I'd be more than happy to help if he wants to do something in Canada. It's just, and then you know what? I've had bad ones too. That's how I ended up working with Shoop. Was I had Chesapeake, and they didn't have it takes 6 months to a year to plan. So you want to start selling tickets 6 months in advance. That way you know what your numbers are, and you have to prepare to not have anybody show up. How am I going to pay all these guys I'm bringing in? And then you have the problem of, so, how I met Shoop was Chesapeake didn't go well. It was a great conference. I think Chief Thompson had just come out with the Functional Fire Company, and he was just starting the lecture circuit. And Shoop called me and goes, hey, you were in Austin working with Brush, helping Brush set up. Yeah. And he goes, would you mind? You're going to be up here anyway. Do you want to flow hose with me? I was scared to death. And so you have to be prepared for failure. And but you do what you can. And, if you get a good fools group behind you, but that's always good. But yeah, trainings, firemen want to do fireman stuff.
Right on.
So I hope that answered your question, Ron. That was a great question.
No, I think but the venue, would you say, like, let's just say you're going to do just lectures, like that's the easiest, obviously.
Okay.
I think when you take hands-on out of the equation, hands-on its own animal. But if I would say the key is if you can get a place that can host it properly, seating, sound system, and you can get that donated or you can get that for free from your community, man, that's half your battle.
So what I did when I did the Red River, I'll use the Red River because most of you guys were there. When we did the first Red River, I think they call it the Red River Training Showdown. I got a hotel, Embassy Suites in Denton, to donate the conference room, and said, hey, I'm going to bring all these firemen in. Go easy on us. And if you're a 501, if you're a charity, a 501c, that really helps you because that's a write-off for them because they're donating to a charity. And hey, you got the conference room, let us use that. Well, we'll put all the people in the hotel, and all the people that are traveling in to come do it will stay there. And so that's how they make their money. But yeah, you're right. The first one, if I was starting from scratch, I'd do lecturers. I'd bring somebody like Corley in, have them do their 9 L's and the 9 L's of leadership, and have somebody go out. And then once you get there, you're competing with all of these people. And once you get it, it's just try to keep your costs low. Everybody, none of us are doing this to make money, but none of us are doing it to, we don't want to be away from our families. We're already away enough. So you have to make it to where it's right. I think the best ones work is like work said, hey, or FDIC, this is what you're getting. This is your stipend. You want to come do this one? Yes or no? And then a lot of times you can grow it. If you have one guy there, you can kind of do a small conference and almost like the Mid-America Fools do with the spring training, and teach yourself that and teach surrounding departments. Does that make sense? Yeah. If you're good at something, throw yourself out there. Yeah, you put a big target on your back at first, but It's okay. And what
No, I think it's time.
huh?
Go ahead.
What it also taught me was, you know what? If you're passionate, and Scott Thompson, Chief Thompson told me this the other day, and he said he was going to listen. I hope he is. As long as you're speaking from your heart, you always tell the truth, and you speak passionately, you can never go wrong. And so that's, I try to live that. And sometimes people don't like the truth, but I always try to tell the truth, and I always speak from my heart. So
Solid. No. So we'll switch from conferences and charities. We'll switch to engine operations, which is another one of your passions, without a doubt.
yes,
So
sir.
let's talk about developing a culture of we're good at engine work. How do you go about doing that and taking it serious when you're in a suburban department specifically?
Yeah. So, you've been to my city. We got
Yes.
all kinds of buildings. The only thing we don't have here is grass. It's concrete jungle. And, we're a 2-station department. I love Addison. They have supported me 100%. Chief Jones, if I say, hey, I got this idea, he's kind of like, yeah, go with it. And he's probably going, hey, he's going to fail miserably. But, it's just, he always supports. And, and I think that's so important. As I get older, I realize, hey, I got to make sure I'm supporting the young guys to make sure they're doing, hey, you want to do it? Go, knock yourself out. I'll do anything I can to help you. So a lot of the stuff, I took some of the stuff from Brush and his classes, took some stuff from Aaron Fields and Nozzle Ford. But after I started traveling with the strategic fire cadre, I really took a lot of my stuff from that. And then I kind of mix, and it's all the same. It's just different words and how they use it, Engine stuff's engine stuff. And it's all basic. There is no advanced engine company. I wish there was. It's and I hate to say this, it's the same stuff over and over again, getting that 10,000 hours. So you're perfection. So you never make it there, but you can always make yourself better. And a lot of it, my culture, the engine culture, I was blessed, and I'll go ahead and brag on them now, man. I've got an incredible crew. Love them to death. Addison, they carry me through anything, and these guys are great. So a lot of it was talking to Chief Thompson when he was coming out with his functional fire company. But you take it and you make it I care about the microculture. Okay, so let's get my engine guys square. I'm in a big house. I have a truck, battalion, medic, ARF truck. So, okay, that's a lot to deal with. When anything gets hard, break it down, make it small, make it simple. So let's work on the engine guys. And so I do it every year. I just got a couple new guys to the crew, so we start doing it. And I say, what are the 5 things? What do I need to be good at the engine? Well, you have to be good at pulling water. You have to be able to get water off that truck quick. So Chief Thompson has it, and I looked at it like, hey, national standard for pulling a 200-foot cross lay is 90 seconds, right? I want my guys to do it in 60 seconds. And I want to get from parking brake to, hey, we're getting out there. And it's simple drills. Pull an inch and 3/4 off, get the cross lay off, get water flowing out. Don't care if it's at the right pressure or good enough stream to go in on. If you can get that in less than 60 seconds, okay, that's one drill. Let's harp that. Let's over and over and over again. As long as we make it under 60 seconds, we're all good. We did it last week. I'm the slowest now. Kills me. But I'm the oldest, and my guys are really badass. I think I put in a time of 52 seconds.
Nice.
And it's a good drill because it's also a good drill for your driver.
Oh, no, without a doubt. Everybody's getting reps.
Everybody's getting reps. I pumped for my driver. He did it too. Everybody on the engine, and I truly believe that the officer has to go first. I have to be the first one to do it. Because if I fail, I'm okay with saying, hey, guys, that didn't go great. What did y'all see that I did wrong? Show them that it's okay to fail during a training site. And then on weekends, I do another drill, mask up drill, 30 seconds. Can you put your mask on in 30 seconds? Everybody can do it. So that's another drill I do. All right, everybody's under 30 seconds. And I keep track of the times to see if we're getting, and then of course, you get the guys going, they want the fastest time.
Sure.
And then it becomes a competition. Then it becomes fun, and it's not a long, drawn-out thing. I think we did it in an hour, and we deployed the cross lay 6 times, in an hour. Repacked it, did it again. Repacked it, did it again. And we're timing each other. Everybody's helping. It's fun. And you're learning how to make your bundle better. It's just.
I say everything. Yeah, you're getting reps on everything. Repackaging. Yeah, putting the rig back in service. All of it.
Yeah. So you do that, and then you take. And I talked to Chief Thompson about this. And then you take your mask up. Do your mask up drill in 30 seconds. I can do both. So I'm at 52 seconds. I think my best mask up time, I've got radio stuff I got to do. It's like 20 seconds. I'm trying to get better. I'll be honest with you. I'm not fingers as you get older.
20 is a little is respectable for the old guy.
Yeah. And so, but if I take that simple that we can do all the time, the cross lay, and then I take that mask up drill, I'm at 90 seconds. So now I'm at the national standard of getting a hose line off. I'm already ahead of the game. So the way I look at it, if I take that and then I put those two together, so we do the drill 1 month. This month we did the cross lay. We're good. Then weekends we do the mask up. Next month we do them together. But when you put two simple tasks together, then it becomes a complex task. And then your times, they don't quite get there. So we're right at that 1:30, and you never know when something's going to go wrong.
Right.
So I want these guys doing it enough that, hey, I've done this hose load so many times that even if it goes wrong, it's going to be okay. I'll fix it. It's just, you have to be used to it. And, you said it in your class, just make yourself 10% better every day. And so another thing I do is I flow. I flow water every day. I only practice with 2.5. I'll flow off the hydrant on the side of the, keep it low. It's training my guys to operate off a standpipe, because I use my standpipe kit off the 2.5 on the thing, off the hydrant. And then we go and we flow. Takes about 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for us all to go through some reps, move it right-handed, move it left-handed. You can do this with the 2.5. When I get the 1 3/4, I'm like a hose ninja at that point. And,
right.
I'm blessed, man. You saw our equipment. We have really good equipment in Addison. They have taken very good care of us. And, shout out to SnapTight. We use a Gladiator hose. They're one of your sponsors. They, if I'm teaching somewhere, SnapTight always sends the hose wherever we go. That hose is always there when I get there. And Elkhart always sends their stuff. So I am truly the luckiest guy in the world. I don't know how I walked into getting all these contacts, but it worked out. Now, on the culture, you have to kind of let your guys set your culture. And I know when I meet with my engine crew, and I try to do it, I call it like the State of the Union address every year, every January. Hey guys, what are we doing good? What can we work on? What can I work on to make you better? And what do you want to do? And you really have to go with what your guys, because it's not about me anymore. I'm probably topped out. I really, I've thought about being a battalion chief, but I still like working for a living. No offense to all the battalion chiefs out there. I don't want to be in the fire SUV. But I love going in the fires. I love being on an engine. I've never been on, I think I'm going on, I became a driver in 2011 or 12. It's a long time ago, so I don't really remember. And I've never been on, I may do 1 or 2 shifts a year on a truck, but man, I'm engine all the way.
All day.
I think I'm on it on 18 years now. And even then it's just, it's what I love doing. And I look at it.
Absolutely. I'll get to the 5 questions for firefighters. I won't be surprised at some of your answers, I don't think.
No.
Jay Jorgen's coming at you from YouTube. He wants to know, can you dive into a little bit about apparatus arrival assignments? For example, if your quint was first due, does it do ladder work or engine work?
So that's funny. I don't really like admitting this. I did a 2-year stint on a quint.
Okay.
But to me, and I'm going to give away one of my Mount Rushmores, Chief Halton, Bobby Halton. He's one of those guys that never really says no. He always pushed you. He pushed you and always supported you. I had an idea for a class, and I called it the Woke Engine Company. And I put it,
I said, okay, go ahead.
I put it in the title. I sent it into FDIC, and I didn't get the class because I'm pretty sure I know why. But I called it the Woke Engine Company: What to Do When Your Engine Has a Stick. And
I think I figured out why.
Yeah, I know why. But if I was a firefighter and I'm looking through a list of classes that I have no clue what it is, I'm going to that one because that title makes me want to go. So the way I looked at the Quint was, and Quints are unusual because it's an engine and a truck. So what do? Do you ride 3 on it? Do you ride 4 on it? Nobody rides 6 on it like it was originally supposed to be. You know, hey, we're going to get 3 truck guys, 3 engine guys. We can do both. Well, you do more with less in the, in the fire service. So the Quints, and I mean, I have a funny story. When I was on Quint 102, I did research because I'd never been on a Quint. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So I did research and I looked and I found out that 97% of the time in Addison, Quint 102 was used as an engine. And so I told my guys, hey guys, we're going in, we're first in, we're that first in hose line. So, and I think the first fire we got, we had to go to a mutual aid, and I said, Quint 102 is on scene, and Quint 102 goes, and he goes, receive, Quint 102, can you ladder the roof? And I'm like, what the hell? And my driver goes, I go, well, ladder the roof, come on. And I go, now that 3%'s done. So we're an engine, but you have to do it with less hose because the Quint doesn't have good hose beds usually. You have less water. So as for the question on riding assignments, I mean, and Corley, you talked about this in your class with your old captain that was the Rolodex isn't active yet.
Right.
So you don't know what you're going to do until you get there. You know, I'd like to say, hey, if I'm getting reports of a window, people hanging out of windows, then yeah, we may need to ladder the building quickly. But if not, you're going in on an engine. Like in Addison, I have a truck coming behind me, a really big truck. And so if I was a Quint, the truck's only going to be 5 to 6 minutes behind, if that. So I'm going to go ahead and be an engine until it's time to not to be. So I always said a Quint's like an engine with defensive capabilities and rescue capabilities. I always left the aerial and rescue mode. Hope that answers this question. And riding assignments, since I'm we run a 3-man engine company. They're working on changing it, and I bet we do next year. If you go to a smoke alarm or a fire alarm or a fire, you have to take water. Water has to go in the door. So on my engine, you either will step off with hose or a water can. Does that make sense? And so we don't.
Absolutely.
With 3 guys, there aren't that many assignments. I grab a tool so I can force the door if I need to. And all I want my 3-seat doing is worrying about fighting fire and getting that nozzle where it needs to go.
No, and I think you've, pretty much speak for the majority of the American Fire Service in that, arrival assignment determines the priority of what the tactic's going to be, as opposed to what the apparatus you arrive on. So what needs to get done? What needs to get done now? Because, the question you always get, well, what happens if you find, if you have a victim, you have a reported victim, and it's full, are you going in? Well, yes, you can, yes, you can do VES, but if I'm on the engine, I'm probably going in with the water too, because if there's somebody else in that house, they really need that fire put out. What is it? If you put the fire out, all the problems go away. And so unless I can see it, and I get the question, well, Captain, what if you're pulling and you come across the victim and you have the hose? Well, then guess what? We got to take the victim out. But I'm probably going to solo that with my guy. But fortunately, we have so many people on scene. There's a truck right behind me. I'm going to radio that I have a victim. I'm going to start taking the victim out. My 3 seats going to keep the fire, and we're going to get them out. So it's hard. It's funny. You get into the keyboard warrior and the keyboard. Not that the keyboard warriors. Everybody wants the silver bullet and wants to know what to do. You talk about it. You asked that. You said you're captain. Hey, Cap, what do I do? You in your class, you say you wore him out. And Cody, the other night when we were in Whitesboro, he laughed because whenever they asked me that, I go, I don't know yet. Wait until we get there. Let me roll down the window. Let me see if I smell anything. Let me see what we're getting into. I'd love to tell you. I wish I knew. If I knew, I'd be probably a lot better than I really was. But and it is part of that recognition, prime decision making, and the Rolodex has to actually be spun. Yeah, it's not until you're in the moment. And that's what it took me a long time as a young firefighter. Like I said, you said I wore my captain out with my questions. I was like, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? And I wore him out so much where he would say, Corley, I don't know. He would tell me that all the time. But I understand later that even no matter how much details I gave him, it wasn't spinning his Rolodex. And so it really and I understand that now. So and again, I don't want to shortchange the man because, like I say in my class, he spent a lot of time investing in me and talking to me through scenarios and putting time into me. So I don't want to be like he just always told me I don't know. But those times when he told me I don't know, those would drive me crazy. Absolutely drove me
And,
crazy.
so that's kind of with strategic fire. I get to ride with Shoop. Shoop calls me his son. I call him dad. He calls Peyton. My son's a firefighter here in Addison too. He's taken Shoop's class like 4 times. He calls him grandson. How lucky am I that guy invested time in me, and I wear him out because I'm asking the questions. That's not in my Rolodex. I'm getting ready for Ice again. I think the last time it hit here, I called him crying because what do you do if you have a frozen hydrant? It's not something we have happen here in Texas.
Right.
And he goes, go to the next one. And I'm like, well, that was really simple. I feel really stupid now. But you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. And
Right. Until you realize, the Dunning-Kruger in full effect. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and I work, and man, strategic fire, just to give a prop to, I got Shoot. I got Jeff Dietrich, who writes articles. I call him he's now the 3rd smartest man I ever know. And the Mateer, who worked in Cleveland with Shoop and was the firefighter with him. Micah Heidemann from Kansas and is at KCK now. He was a captain in Manhattan and took a demotion to go work for a big city. And and Jerry Knapp. Jerry Knapp, who's knows more about gas and house fires than anybody I've ever met. And the fact that these guys are willing just to answer questions and put up with my.
Well, that's the amazing part about the American Fire Service is the more of them that you meet, the more you realize that they're all the same. Like they all are so. I don't want to. I'm sure there's assholes. I just haven't met that many. I really haven't. They're all amazing human beings that love to share their knowledge.
They do, and that's all we want to do is share. And I really, that's my goal is to make sure I go away with nothing in my brain. So that kind of goes to my culture. And we did something that you talked about doing in your class. I do it. I actually have a 200-foot rope. So when we go to these calls on medicals, I've been doing this for a while. My job is how do I get my guys to have my Rolodex? Because you can't get the Rolodex real quick. I picked up you have to have time to get the Rolodex. And so how do I get them? So what we're doing now is I say, all right, get me hose to where we are right now. If we're in an apartment building, are we doing a rope drop? Are we doing, are we stretching from here? Are we taking a 2.5 and extending off of it? How do I get it to here? And by doing that after every call, I actually have a 200-foot rope with a nozzle. And it works for standpipes because that's our, I do that on every medical call, especially if it's one of my new firemen. And my goal is that when they get there, they've already fake stretched it, or they know exactly what I'm thinking. And that's the time that opens up conversations that lets me say, hey, what are we going to do here? I did it yesterday. We were walking in some apartment buildings and I have a new firefighter with me and he's new to my crew. And he's like, and he's picking my brain and all you can do is answer. And the only thing I can say to new officers out there is if you don't know, say you don't know. I don't know, but let's find out together. Always tell the truth, and it's okay to say you don't know. I wish I'd have known that earlier in my life.
Sure. No, I don't know. It's such a powerful concept. Backseat Wisdom has one coming at you. He says, if you were a young firefighter, which neither of us are, but if you were a young firefighter, 18 to 21 years old, and given the opportunity to lead an engine-based training for a small volunteer department, rural, what would be the main focus points?
Okay, so Shoop always says firefighting is geographical, circumstantial, and local. So you have to look at, I would say, what is the most basic thing you need to do? Your bread and butter is not going to be my bread and butter. But where you can't fail is nozzle mechanics, especially a volunteer fire department. Because Corley, you used what was the general's name? McRaven, and what was the guy's name? McChrystal. What makes a SEAL? They take physical fitness and they take being good with their equipment off the table. So that's no longer a variable. So volunteer department, if you had it to lead, I would do nozzle mechanics and hose mechanics because you have to be able to hold the hose. But I'm an engine guy, so look at what y'all need and make it simple. Don't make it a beat up 8-hour training. Do it in 30, 40, 45 minutes and just get good at doing that. Because I didn't word it as eloquently as you. I always say before I had I've heard it called the 100 thing, brush taught me it, shoop reinforced it. I've heard it called the shoop lock, brush lock, Camella grip. Before I had that, when I didn't know any of this stuff, I was like, God, I hope this fire goes well. I don't know. I'm going to be holding on for dear life. Once I got a technique that I took the variable off the table, wish I'd have had it as a younger guy. I know it's going to go well. I know I'm going to at least be able to control the hose. Hope never works. When does hope work? I hope she doesn't get pregnant. I hope I don't get caught. Hope never works. Hope sucks. Just take the variables off, and it all goes back to just blowing hose. That's what I do. I'll give my phone number out. Call me. I'll walk you through drills. I'll give you all the drills I do to make our guys better. Back on the culture thing for a second. Sorry. ADHD moment. I probably stole it. I don't remember where I heard it from, but I told my guys, because I go, what do y'all want our culture to be? I want us to be the best engine possible. I want us to be the one that gets bumped up from third end to second end because they want us in the fire. I want to jump other people's fire. I go, I want us to be the Lone Ranger. And that sounds like, hey, we're off on our own. And you and I are old enough to remember. I have to explain who the Lone Ranger was to some of the guys.
Sure.
What did they say at the end of every Lone Ranger show? Not hi-ho silver. Who was that masked man? So I always want guys, I want us to be the Lone Ranger. I want to go into another city. I want to knock the shit out of that fire. Say, put up our hose. We're not going to talk about it. We'll high five when we get back to the station. Our actions speak for us. And I want them to say, hey, who was that engine company? And then, when I go talking to another chief or I go check in with another battalion, I sit there and say, hey, Engine 101's here. Where do you want me to stop this fire? We're here. It's ending now.
Nice.
And it's a swagger. And I want the guys to be proud. And so if they don't have a culture, I gave them that one. They kind of adopted it. I think I'm having a patch come up with the Lone Ranger, but I'm not a very good artist. So, it's just, man, you got to let your guys dictate what you do. But, man, it's not hard to motivate people to want to be good at their job. Nobody wants to come in and suck at being a fire. I don't know.
What is it? It's like that may surprise some people as bad as some people are at it, but no one wants to be that way.
Nobody woke up and said, man, I want to screw up.
I want to suck today. I want to fuck it up today.
Yeah. I want to launch a stink pickle. And I mean, hey, it happens when you do. You just own it and say, hey, yep, that sucked. Let's get better. So,
well, I got a few more questions coming at you from the YouTube audience, and I like some of these. I like that one on the 18. If you were a young firefighter, we can preface all of the questions with, since you're such a young firefighter. But I like this one. Coach Carter 343 says, "What's the number one way to make things safer, not safe, on the fire ground?"
How do you make things safer?
Safer, not safe. Safer.
I don't like it. What was it? I don't like safer. Our job's not safe. It's inherently dangerous. I like smarter. And then Mike Rowe that says safety third. Be smart. Know what you're doing. Know your tools. Know what you're going into. Because life can throw you a curveball. We're about to hear about a huge one. And so I don't worry about, I tell my guys that we are going in no matter what until I say, no, we can't do it. But I want the expectation is, hey, if you get off that engine, you go to that door and you're going in. I can't guarantee that it's safe. I can guarantee that I don't know how to make it safe. If we did, we wouldn't. I mean, what are we up to now, Corley? I know you pay attention. It's only first in the year, but what was it? Aren't we? What's the LODs this year so far?
No, I haven't seen. I have not tracked the current where 2026 is at. So
okay.
I would be lying. And
yeah.
I stay up with Data Not Drama and Bill Carey. He does a pretty good job of it, but I have not looked and checked in. So yeah,
you can do everything right and still bad stuff happens. You can't make it safe. And trust me, if I could, I would, because my son does this job. And and my youngest son wants to do the job. And he said he's 13 now, and he's got more firemen than any of us do. But he just doesn't know how to do it yet. He goes, Dad, I'll probably end up being a fireman. You won't be able to teach me. Oh, why not? He goes, oh, you'll be dead. And I'll have to learn from my big brother. And I'm like, oh, thanks, dude. I'm like, dude, that kid doesn't even realize he's a fireman yet. So you can't make it safer, but you can be smarter about what you do. Does that answer the question?
I think it's along the lines of what he was after. I think. I don't know exactly what Coach Carter was going for, but I think the safer not safe is the key of what he was asking.
So you can do that by training and knowing what you're getting yourself into. I mean, even then you don't know. It's a crapshoot.
It'll never be safe.
No.
But safer is the key. I think he was asking, and it is training and knowing your job, knowing your equipment, knowing your district. That's
say it's smart.
your job.
Yeah.
No, and I think is it Thompson who says they took the word safe out of everything and started using smart instead of safe?
Yes, it is.
Yes. And it's a great way to approach it.
And for those of y'all who don't know Chief Thompson, like I said, I hope he's listening. That guy has been my sounding board for years. He taught my academy. I've been blessed to know him for almost 27 years now. And thank you, Chief Thompson.
And so, no, absolutely. And if you haven't read Functional Fire Company, specifically Chapter 2, my favorite chapter of any fire service book, one of the best books written, and Chapter 2. But anyway, I could talk about Chief Thompson forever. A huge mentor of mine.
He'll probably be on in a month or two anyway.
Let's talk about
Huh?
No, say it again. I walked on you.
Thompson will probably be on in 2 months anyway. I mean, hadn't he been on here like 5 times?
I don't know if he holds the record, but he definitely has his red jacket for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that curveball, life throwing curveballs. Let's get to the oh shit moment that well, I don't know. I'll let you tell the story.
All right. So, and look, guys, I'm blessed. I know I don't look like I'm in the best shape now, but it's so important. I mean, to take care of yourself. So August of 2024. So August 2024. My life's great. I get to go to FDIC. I've taught FDIC. I can go to any conference. I get to hang with Shoop. I get to hang with Strategic. I'm hanging with my heroes. And I just have a great life. Family's great. Love everything. Everything's going great. August 2024, I have a little episode. My heart skipped. Addison is really good about taking care of us. We get life scanned, we get scanned, we get every year. They watch us. I have been going great. So I went to the cardiologist. They happened to run my blood tests. And I spoke about this once before, Corley, and I'll say this. I did a medical conference for First Health, and I said this is going to be my coming out speech. And then as soon as I said that, I go, you know what, Gruver, you could have thought of a better word for that. I am not coming out. So this is going to be truly it. And those that know me know about this, and some guys know, and everybody's shocked when they find out. So my cardiologist ran all my blood work, and my PSA came back a little bit high. It was like 4.8. PSA is a prostate-specific antigen. And I went and I looked at my January one where I had my Addison physical, and it was 4.1. I'm like, okay, well, it's almost gone up a whole point. Well, that causes things to happen. And I'll do that goes to, hey, there you go. They do it again. It comes back high again. You're waiting. And then, so you're waiting for that. You get the result. That doesn't come back the way you want. You go for they call for an MRI. That one, it takes like a month to do each thing. And everything is going in super slow motion because you're sitting there going, oh crap, there's something wrong with my body. And
right.
I have no idea what it is. Bottom line, and then I found out December 26th, I had to have a prostate biopsy. And since most of the vigilantes, I think, are younger, they are not going to know what that is. but it is not a fun test. They do not put you out for it. It is, well, without going into graphic detail, I was awake, and that's how I know I'm not gay. Because they biopsy, they go in through a really small hole, and it's not good. And you feel every one of them. I think they did 15 biopsies on my prostate. There's 12 quadrants of the prostate, and you hear a gun pop, and you, yep. That's not good. Well, so January 4th, I get a phone call, and my world stopped. I got told I had prostate cancer. I'm 52 years old. I mean, and this is my dumb brain. I can sleep all night. I don't ever have to wake up to go pee. I thought prostate problems, you had to pee all the time. I had no problems with anything else. So I'm like, I didn't have one symptom. Nobody had said it. I've been scanned, nothing happened. So then I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I have to tell my crew, hey guys, I have cancer. And I'm supposed to be the captain. And it's breaking my heart. And I probably get emotional talking about it. Addison Fire Department, the chiefs, they put me on their back, and they carried me through cancer. My crew was incredible. The whole department was incredible. So it got really dark, Corley. And when I talk about dark, I mean, there was a time right after that, they saw a spot. They do your PET scan before you go meet the surgeon. The surgeon says, hey, we have 3 goals. Let's get rid of the cancer. And I firmly believe that cancer, you have to get rid of cancer to live from. I mean, it's the only way you beat it. You have to cut it out of your body. They go, hey, we want to do that. I would like to get it to where you don't have to wear a diaper your whole life. So we're going to get real personal with me and the scrappers here, okay? I have no problem telling it, because you know what? With Sons of the Flag, we always tried to marry people that had the same injuries, because nobody knows what they're going through, like somebody that's already been through it. And I've had another fireman reach out. I'll throw a big shout out to him, Louisville fireman. He didn't have prostate cancer. He had leukemia, Captain Darren Murray. He was one of the first people I saw. I saw him in Kroger. He lived in the hometown. We knew each other. And he goes, hey, how are you doing? I was more worried about him being in remission. And I told him, man, I just found out I had cancer. And that guy started calling me every day, checking on me. They wanted to keep me. They wanted to get rid of the cancer. They wanted to get to where I didn't have to wear a diaper, and they would like for everything to work. And I'm trying to be. I'll go into more details on the after show if anybody wants to know it. But I'm really funny about it, because all you have is your sense of humor and your positive attitude to get you through this. And the numbers weren't good, Corley. I think they said if I did radiation and chemo, I had an 80% chance of making it 10 years. I'm 52. I don't want to die at 62. I have a 13-year-old, for God's sakes. You know, everything's great. If I did surgery, which is a radical prostatectomy, they could give me a 99% chance of remaining cancer-free. But during the PET scan, they found a spot on my femur. So now I'm not looking at prostate cancer. I'm looking at bone cancer. And that's when the oh shit hit. I'm like, bone cancer, that's like 6 months. That's not good. Hey, I'm going to have to retire. And so I had the surgery. You know, my wife, Amanda, and I decided, we went down. You're listening to this. And man, I'm in a bubble. I don't even hear it. You know, the first thing, Amanda was great. I wasn't allowed to look on Google anymore.
I can imagine.
I can remember when the doctor called me. He called me and goes, hey, Dr. Porter called me and goes, hey, remember you had your biopsy? I go, yes, I do not. I do remember the biopsy very vividly. Yes, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. Well, he goes, I need you to drive into the office. I go, dude, I live in Melissa. I live in almost Oklahoma. You're at Presby, Dallas. You're in Dallas. Is there anything you're going to tell me over the phone it's going to change what you're going to tell me? And he goes, no, sir, it won't. I go, well, you can tell me now, you know. And while he's doing that, while he's telling me, hey, dude, you have, at the time they thought stage 2 cancer. And he goes, you have stage 2 cancer. I'm looking up what are the survival rates, you know, that's it. I'm dead.
Yeah.
The C word changes everything. So, and this is what I want firemen to know, guys. And I feel pretty convicted about this. It's changed my whole life radically. I will quote Chris Pratt here. Guys, you have a soul, you need to take care of it. I was raised, I'm from Texas. I'm Southern. So I was raised in church my whole life. Thought I was saved. Man, the stuff that you think about when you tell you have cancer and you think you're dying in 6 months, and even though you know you want the best outcome, you don't get the best. Your brain won't let you get the best outcome. You know, I went to Disney World with my kids, and because my daughter is a cheerleader. Big shout out to Kaylee. She's actually working at Disney. She started the business internship yesterday. So if you go to Hollywood Studios, say hi to Kaylee. Everything I did, I thought it was going to be the last time I did it. And I get it. I'm dramatic, you know, but when it's happening to you, it's not something quick. They say ignorance is bliss. You know, I always kind of thought, and I'll quote Dugan, because I was scared to death when I jumped out of the plane. I mean, I was scared. I was petrified. I probably got the Papa Union Sierra Yankee Award for that because it was just not good. I mean, I probably walked 10 miles, but Dugan said, hey, I know where I'm going. I'm ready. Good Lord can take me anytime he wants. And I thought that was, and I always said that, and I thought I believed it until I found out I had cancer. And I started really looking. I go, really, am I where I need to be? And I mean, I don't want to preach at you guys, but man, once you give up control to God and you surrender, life gets so much easier. The fire service is about being something bigger than you. And I highly recommend that. I know it may be suicide, but man, make God that bigger thing, because your life gets so much better when it does. And it's how I have a positive outlook on life. I mean, really, and I can joke about it because I know he's got me. You know, Jesus has got me. I'm good. And I have no control over it. I learned that no matter how much I talk, and I can talk my way into some stuff, and no amount of money is going to get rid of my cancer. And so turns out they do the PET scan. I don't have bone cancer. Thank God. But I fought it. And I'm sitting here going, what am I going to do? How am I going to, I'm worried about it. I'm not sleeping. I'm sleeping maybe an hour a night. And finally I just said, God, it's in your hands. Do with me what you will. I promise you I'll still be a fireman. But if you get me through this, I will be your warrior. I will tell everybody what you did. And so that's why I love the opportunity to be able to do this, because my guys carried me. And the surgery sucked. It's an 8.5-hour surgery. They basically detach your male parts on the inside. They take every nerve. They remove my prostate. I lost part of my bladder. And this ended up being firefighter related. I got workers' comp off of it. It's one of the presumptive cancers. And yes, you and I are older. We didn't have 2 sets of bunker gears. We didn't have extractors at every station, you know, like we do now. Take care of yourself, guys. Get in shape, because I was in good shape in my 30s and 40s, because what you do in your 30s and 20s and young firemen, be in good shape. Be what you think a fireman looks like, because that shape that you get in, those habits you build through your 20s and 30s, they carry you through your 40s and 50s. And if I hadn't been in somewhat good shape, I mean, yeah, everybody slacks off every once in a while, but if I hadn't been, I wouldn't have been able to come back. I was supposed to be out for 8 months. They did the surgery on March 6th. I came back June 10th. Surgery sucks. My crew was incredible. I'd wake up and I'll shout his name out, Cliff Askins. I call him my blue healer. Him and Cody, my crew, they're sitting in my living room. What are you doing today? Oh, we're just going to hang out with you, Cap. I mean, I've been a part of so much Sons of the Flag where I'm always giving. I have never received it. And it feels so good. And I felt so guilty because of it, because I'm like, guys, y'all don't have to do this. And now they're just like, hey, they get it. They've given me grace. Chief Jones, Chief Alexander, they were there with me, that walking me through the TML paperwork, getting it. Texas is really blessed. I'm worried that we're having so many cancers come up that they're going to start looking, because when they did my investigation, they came out and said, hey, we have 60 days. I go, well, my surgery is scheduled for 30 days because it ended up being a lot worse. The PET scan showed I had stage 3, getting ready to get out of the prostate and going to other places. It was getting towards stage 4. So, and I never had a symptom, guys. I was so happy.
Wow.
Ignorance is bliss. So,
Where's it where's it at now? Like, surgery successful, cancer free?
So,
What's
I don't know,
what do we
man.
know?
I mean, so I'm good. I tell you what, you wake up from surgery, and I think my wife said the first words out of my mouth were, I have to pee, and what the F just happened? And I'll go into it on the after show because I don't really want this out there. I'll talk to it when we're not on YouTube. There are changes that happen to you. I know I had a Foley for 10 days, and that is miserable. And, I didn't move for 10 days. I couldn't lift weights for 6 months. You didn't recognize me when you saw me. I ended up losing 30 pounds. I lost all my muscle because if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And, but you get used to anything. I think when the guys would come over and made them sick, because I was so done with that. At first, I bought a 5-gallon bucket and I just carried my Foley bag around in the 5-gallon Lowe's bucket, just carrying it with me. And then by the time they got over, I was wearing shorts and I just hang the Foley out of my side pocket. It's just, hey, it is what it is. I can tell you what, I have no humility anymore. Everybody's seen all my business. One of the guys came to visit me in the hospital, and they said I was walking the halls with my ass hanging out, and I didn't care. But I'll tell you what, guys. So where am I at now? Not in remission. They don't give you remission. They give you, hey, you're good right now. I have a blood test tomorrow. I get a blood test every 3 months. This will be my 5th one. I had one 30 days out. I have no signs of cancer 30 days out, and every 3 months after that. And as long as it comes back with no signs of any PSA level, which is your prostate antigen, then I'm golden. But if it comes back even slightly elevated, I think my number is less than 0.014 because they have to put something on the lab readout. And if it comes back anything over that, I'm in chemo, I'm in radiation, and they block my testosterone for 2 years. But I have a plan. The hardest part of going through cancer was not knowing what the plan was, because the time when I was finding myself, getting right with God, realizing I wasn't where I needed to be, it's because you don't have a plan. You don't know. What did I say? The fear of the unknown is the worst. When I jumped out of the plane, I was scared. As soon as I jumped out, I can show you a picture. I'm smiling. I don't know where the fear went, but it left. And once I gave the cancer to God and got the plan, the fear left. I'm not scared of it anymore. It doesn't control me. And that's the 2 options you have. I can try to control it, or all I have control over is my attitude and how I respond to what happens. And, the people that I've known with cancer, they have good attitudes, the ones that make it. So, God willing, I'll get my 5th clear, but I have to live with this for 5 years. And, I started thinking about it this morning. Yeah. Oh, we got a blood test tomorrow. Okay.
Right.
Well, said a prayer over it. God, if it's time, it's your will. Do with me what you want. I'm here for you. I don't have control. And it's awesome getting to release that control. I don't want to say goodbye.
Hopefully.
Huh?
No, absolutely. Hopefully your story of how it hit you and who you were, its change on you, and just it's helpful to other firefighters. Hopefully no firefighter has to go through it ever again. But that's a pipe dream that's a reality. Just people are going to go through it. So sharing your story will set them up for hopefully give them strength to draw upon.
Well, and that's the thing. I didn't have anybody to tell me what was going to happen. And I'll talk about it on the after show. There is a lot of crap that happens to you that I didn't even know to ask. And so, when I was telling about the workers' comp, they pulled every fire I was on. The admin had to give them all the paperwork. And they told me, hey, we don't know if it's going to be covered. I'm like, it's presumptive cancer. If I've been doing this for 5 years, you come down with this cancer, it's covered. Why are we investigating it? I'm not going to wait around. I have a nuclear bomb inside of me. I want it out. I'll let the lawyers deal with it. You know, I'm having it taken out. Texas has been great. Addison has been great. City Hall, the whole town surrounded me and lifted me up and my family up. And it's just been the best. I will never be able to thank this department and everybody that carried me through this enough. I will never be able to. And
no, thank you for sharing it. Seriously, thank you for sharing it.
I hope it's not as funny as I normally am, because I'm really trying to keep it PG-13.
Well, it's not a funny topic, and only you have the right to be funny with it.
Well, so, you know what? It is what it is. And I told the guys, one guy goes, Cap, what if you die? I mean, I had to tell my guys, and one of my rookies at the time goes, Cap, you taught us everything. What are you going to teach us with this? I go, I may have to teach you how to die gracefully. I don't want to. He just come to my crew. And he was so excited. And the first day he was on my crew was when I told the crew, and hey guys, I have cancer.
Right.
And I mean, the look on their faces, I mean, it's heartbreaking. And look, I hate that I'm not as fast. I hate that I'm not the fastest guy pulling the hose. But I'm thinking, hey, I'm in the champion bracket, I call it now. I'm in the senior tour now. It's 50 years old, isn't it? Right. I plan on going 4 to 5, 6 more years. I'm going to go until my body stops. I joke and say, I have the brain that is finally there. It's not very mature, but it's there. And I have the body of a Civil War veteran. So
I love it.
Everything's coming back slowly, man. I think my 13-year-old's lifting as much weight as I am now. So it's awesome.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Nice. No, hey, you learn what to be grateful for, no doubt about it.
Oh,
so I will transition to book or books. This is one of my favorite questions I ask in the scrap. Book or books that you think firefighters should be reading? And it doesn't have to be a firefighter book, but what books do you think firefighters should read?
Okay. That was not on the list, Corley.
I'm sorry. Curveball coming at you.
That was not on my
list. If it's not on your list, it would be the first time in 340 episodes I didn't send it to a guest.
No, I got the 5 questions. I know what they are. But I know how to answer this question. So, perfect. The Functional Fire Company. You know, I love that book. It talks about building. That one's great for any officers. The Book of Andy. That one, if you're on an engine, that one's incredible. The Book of Shoot. All of the stuff compiled together. That one's incredible. You know, and then it branches out. Tactical Resilience, Rick George.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I wish I could take it.
George Gillespie, George, and I forget. Yeah.
I always forget Dave. Sorry, Dave. Yeah. Dave's always been so nice to me too. But you know, Rick signed the book to me in crayon, and you know, Rick George, that gets your mental there. Another book you need to read, Jerry Knapp, House Fires. That's like the idiot's guide to house fires, and as Jerry tells you, it's got a lot of pictures, and it's good. It transcends everything. I mean, there's so many out there. The Bible, you need to read your Bible, and the book I gave you when you asked what book. Don't give the enemy a seat at your table, and I apply it to cancer. But it kind of it is a religious book, and it talks about when shit hits the fan, by Louis Giglio. When shit hits the fan, how to get your mind right, how to stay in that positive. Because when one thing starts happening, everything snowballs. You know, that's when stuff starts breaking down. Everything bad goes wrong. You know, it's just it snowballs. How do I keep myself mentally in the frame of mind? When truthfully, I'm not going to lie, guys, I wanted to crawl up in a fetal position.
Sure. I can only imagine.
So, and then trying to come to work and act like it wasn't bothering me. And trying to be there for my guys. And I've told them, hey, guys, I'm sorry. Slap me on the back of the head, say, Cap, we need you here today. If I go off somewhere, I'm sorry I haven't been devoted to you. And my guys have given me grace. And I do appreciate it.
So don't give the enemy a seat at your table.
Louis Giglio.
Okay.
Giglio. I gave it to you. I think it goes along with Psalms, and it's a good thing. I mean, it's how to keep a positive mindset when everything's going wrong.
Love it. All right. That takes us to the 5 questions for firefighters. This has been going on for a long time. The questions change, but there are no correct answers, only your opinions.
Oh, I'm on the clock.
Not yet, but then one of them will be. Number 1, you can do anything in the world except be a firefighter. what do you choose to be?
I'm going to be a professional golfer.
Pro golfer.
Okay. I'm not even going to get into I've had other careers. I've been blessed. I've gotten to do anything I've ever wanted to do. And for some reason, I always seem to be good at it. You know, I look at it and I'm not trying to be braggadocious. I was a musician. I got to play at a pretty high level, made it to the top of that. Did that while I was part-timing. Charities, I made it to the top of a charity. It's all, if you refuse failure, but professional golfing, I do it to age. I played today, actually. It was too cold because I'm getting ready for it to be ice. I try to play once or twice a week. I love it. At some point during the 18 holes, things are going to go wrong. And I'm going to lose everything I've ever done. And I can look like I shoot, in the 70s. And at some point, I'm going to lose my swing in that 18 holes. How can I get that back? It's repetition. How many times have I prepared myself for it? It's the same thing as pulling hose. Something's going to go wrong. How do I react to it? And what I found out with the cancer, it's really good for your core and it really strengthens everything. And it was my goal way. If I was on a golf course, I wasn't thinking about cancer. I wasn't thinking about my problems. I was just mad that I was doing bad at the golf course and trying to figure it out. But it's my happy thing. It's kind of the same thing. You get to travel. I mean, if I were ever to be a professional golfer now, I'd be on the senior tour, so it can't be that hard. Get to go to nice hotels, play golf 4 days a week. Hell,
Right on.
they were in the Bahamas this week. The Corn Ferry
Right.
Tour was. So yeah, it's a good.
Hey, I can't argue. I'll give you max points for professional golfer. And so I love it. And the thing is, it doesn't say what are you going to do that you're good at. It's what do you choose to be? So I love it. Number 2, it's Jobtown. It's time. You're en route and responding, just like the scene from Backdraft, slapping that cassette tape into that cassette deck. What song are you playing while en route?
All right, so I thought about this because I listened to several shows to get the questions and see. I'm going to throw it out. I'm an 80s guy. I know I don't have the hair anymore. I'm just happy to have hair at this point.
Sure.
I'm going to throw it back to some Dallas homeboys. I'm going to give it to Pantera, Cowboys from Hell.
Cowboys from Hell. There you go. That is.
I mean, it's Texan.
Pantera's been on the list, yeah, so we surely had respect, right? And Walk.
Yeah. I mean, you could have gone with several. You could have gone with Metallica. You could have gone Seek and Destroy. But man, Pantera, that it just gets you going.
Cowboys from Hell, first time, right, Sam? Yes, he confirms. Okay, first time on there. Max points for Pantera. So, number 3, cold weekend at the station. Checks are done. Rigs are checked. Training is done. You've done your training. You've got your PT in. The food is cooking in the crock pot. It's cold weather coming to Texas for the first time in a few years, so it's one of those days where you're not being lazy. It's just there's nothing to do. And you're clicking through the remote. What movie do you stop on, no matter how many times you've seen it, and you watch the rest of the movie? What's that movie for you?
Saving Private Ryan.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a history buff, too.
Okay. No, I love that. I love that answer, man. I love
either that one or 13 Hours.
Okay.
No matter how many times you watch it, you still watch it.
I do. Yeah. And that's the first time that movie's been brought up. So that's a good one.
Dude, I'm hitting
3 for 3.
First on everything.
3 for 3. Number 4. This one's on the clock. This is why the clock is there. Your Mount Rushmore. You get 1 minute to answer. 4 people on Mount Rushmore, just to be clear, because we have to be clear on that with firefighters, especially the truckies.
Yeah.
4 people on Mount Rushmore. You get 1 minute to answer. If you go over talking about, you don't get max points. If you put more people than 4 on, you don't get max points. If you talk after you stop, you don't get max points. So, who are your 4 people you put on Mount Rushmore?
Chief Bobby Halton, Jeff Shoup, Jerry Tracy from FDNY, and Aaron Fields. Clock stops. Now I'll explain. Halton did so much for training. And he used to be a chief here in Texas. I knew him then. He was great. Shoup, he's my dad. He's got to go on there. When it was Who's My Firefighter that I get to ride with my crew with, I wanted the 1982 Shoup. Right after he came through the war years. Jerry Tracy. That guy, I got to sit at the table with him. He was Andy's captain. How do you not respect that? And his book on high-rise buildings is like that thick. There's not a lot of pictures, and I'm still going through it. And feels just for the sheer amount of firemen he's touched and how many he's taught engine company stuff to and hose management. So I'm friends with, I'm lucky to say I've known all the people I put on my Mount Rushmore. I'm sure there's bigger giants, but I was going to have a hard time, but I shouted out to Brush with what he did for me earlier. Brush was going to be on there too, but I went with Aaron because, yeah.
And we don't know who this Brush person is on the scrap.
Who's this Brush guy?
He only has one name. He is Brian Crush. That is all we call him. And so, but that's a pretty solid Mount Rushmore. Takes us to number 5, heavy fire and searchable space. Would you rather be on the nozzle or first in on the VES?
Really? I'm taking the nozzle.
I know the answer, but I have to ask
the nozzle all day. I got blessed. I've got a new driver 2 weeks ago. So I've been getting to ride as a firefighter and letting him step up to officer. And that way I can be with him. I've had the heyday, and I can't catch a fire while he's here. While he's riding the seat, I can't be the 3 seat. I would take the nozzle any day, every day, twice on Sunday.
I would be completely surprised if that was not your answer. And so I was expecting it to be. And that officially makes it 5 questions for firefighters, according to Chad Gruver. And that officially puts 338 scraps in the books. Chad, Groovy, my brother, thank you for being with us this evening.
Oh, man, we went over. Corley, you forgot my challenges.
No, we'll get there.
Oh, okay.
If someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
469-338-8239 or Chad at sonsoftheflag.org.
Perfect.
And I'll answer the phone 24 hours a day.
He will do it. He will do it. Even if you're calling from Hawaii at midnight here, it's 4 a.m. there. He will answer. 2 things left. Guest suggestions. The first one is guest suggestions. Who do you want to see have a scrap or come back on the scrap? I'm always looking for new people to add or people to bring back.
Well, shoot. Jerry Knapp would be a good one. Jay Camella. Have you thought about him? Have you gotten him yet?
I've had no luck getting him to commit.
Have you talked to him?
Not directly, only through emails and only through intermediaries, but no luck.
So that would be, Jeff Dietrich, the guys I run with, all of them would be good. I know we tried to get Shoop on earlier. I'll help you get Camilla. I'll call Jay. We'll get him on.
Okay. Hey, I'm all for it. I'm always looking for it. I'm looking for suggestions, not commitments. So the second thing is the challenges. The challenge you have for the scrap audience, the people to get done before next week's scrap. What are your challenges to them?
I said I had 2. 1, you can't get done by next week. Whatever your apparatus you're on, practice for 20 minutes a day on it. If you're on an engine, flow hose for 20 minutes. If your officer won't do it with you, do it by yourself. If you're on a truck, throw a ladder, okay? Practice. It doesn't take, I hate to say this, and it's funny because Shoop said it to me. Shoop said it in front of a class. And he meant it. He goes, it doesn't take a lot to be good. And he looked at us, and I'm like, all you have to do is put in 10% effort a day to be better, to better yourself. You want everybody to read every day, right, Corley?
Oh yeah.
Whatever piece of equipment you're assigned to, whatever, if you do truck and you swap and you go truck, engine, do whatever you're on that day. Throw a ladder. Practice. If you don't have a way to practice cutting, draw it on chalk. Put chalk on it, practice your cuts. I'm trying to make this for everybody. And then the one I have that you can't do, guys, if y'all are over 40, go get some blood work done. Do not let cancer come up. It's scary. Nobody wants to deal with it, but get checked. Take care of yourself. Please take care of yourself, because I don't want anybody to go through what I went through, and it'll come and slap you out of nowhere.
There you go. That is the challenges from Chad Gruver. I love it. I'll do my housekeeping. Brother, absolutely great discussion with you this evening. Everybody listening, housekeeping time. Go to patreon.com/thevigilantes. Become a vigilante. The Discord is up and running, and the Discord is very active. I'm having a withdrawal just from being like disconnected a little bit, just from being in the Hawaii out here with the 50th State Fools, getting ready to teach out here, and just being a little bit disconnected. The Discord has allowed me to stay somewhat connected on the V50, the time difference. But the latest V50, we're on day 20 today, and it's fun. And so anyway, I can't ever suggest it enough. It is like-minded souls, people who support each other. It's amazing. For all that being said, coming up next week on The Scrap, it is episode 339. Chief David Rhodes. If you know, 339, if you know, you know. 2 weeks from today, from Phil Jose, coming back on The Scrap. And this time, I'm getting ready for, there's going to be some tactical discussions. So bring your questions. So that's 339, 340, and 2026 is underway. Thank you once again, Chad Gruver, for spending your evening with us and sharing and everything you've shared. Thanks for being a phenomenal guest.
Thank you for having me, Corley. Guys, be careful.
Audience, yeah, absolutely. Audience, you make the Scrap magical each and every week. You show up, you ask great questions, you throw them at the guest, and you set them up for success. You set the Scrap up for success. I can never thank you enough. I love you all. Remember, mutts don't scrap. I hope the tones stay silent unless it is burning. This job will never be safe, so stay smart out there.